Welcome to today's video on a dilemma many high-earning professionals face early in their careers, whether to aggressively pay down student loans or prioritize retirement savings. We'll reveal when an employer 401k match makes maxing your retirement contributions the smarter move. Let's begin by previewing our agenda so you know exactly what's coming next. Here's our roadmap for the session. First, we'll unpack why an employer match can create an immediate return on your investment. Next, we'll walk through a practical priority checklist, then clarify vesting and job hopping implications. After that, we'll cover tax efficiency, show how lifestyle choices amplify outcomes, run quick math examples in Markdown, and challenge you with a couple of short quizzes. Finally, we'll wrap with key takeaways and a concise summary. Now, let's dive into the core insight. The central idea is that an employer 401k match represents a guaranteed and immediate return on your contribution. In many cases, the effective ROI from the match far exceeds the interest rate on student loans. This means that, mathematically, capturing the full match, sometimes even maxing to the IRS limit when the match structure is unusually generous, can be the superior first move. Passing up this free money is often unsound. With that in mind, let's look closely at how the match works and why the math can flip the traditional debt-first advice. An employer match is an immediate value boost to your contribution. For example, a 100% match on the first portion of your contributions literally doubles those dollars on day one. Even a 50% match provides a 50% gain, which is still far beyond most student loan interest rates. Some employers structure the match as a high percentage of salary or total compensation, creating unusually large contributions compared to your own. In scenarios like these, maxing your 401k to the IRS limit can be the rational choice, even if it delays aggressively paying down student loans. With the concept clear, let's set your priorities in the right order. First, build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund in cash so that unexpected expenses do not force you into high-cost debt. Next, contribute enough to capture the full employer match, and if the match is unusually generous, consider maxing your 401k to the annual limit. Then, study your plan's vesting schedule. If there is a cliff or graded vesting schedule, make sure your anticipated tenure allows you to keep the employer contributions. Finally, allocate remaining funds to aggressively pay down high-interest student loans, ideally with an avalanche approach that targets the highest APR first. With priorities established, let's examine vesting and job hopping timing considerations. Vesting determines how much of the employer's contributions you actually keep when you leave. Under cliff vesting, you may receive nothing until a certain anniversary date, and then suddenly become 100% vested. Under graded vesting, you accumulate ownership gradually, for example 25% per year over 4 years. If you are considering job hopping, it can be beneficial to time your departure so you do not forfeit a large portion of unvested employer contributions. Make sure to read your plan document, because vesting rules can significantly alter the value of the match. Next, let's compare match-driven ROI to common student loan APRs with a simple table. This table illustrates why match dollars usually dominate. A 100% match up to the IRS limit yields an immediate 100% return compared to a loan APR around 6%. Even a 50% match is a substantial, guaranteed gain relative to typical loan rates. Many common plans offer 5% of salary if you contribute 6%. Measured against your first match dollars, that's roughly an 83% immediate return. However, once you contribute above the match cap, the immediate return on those excess dollars is zero, so it can make sense to direct excess funds to debt. With the comparison in mind, let's test your understanding with a quick quiz. Question: your employer matches 25% of your 401k contributions up to the IRS limit, and your student loans are at 6% APR. You can afford to max your 401k. What's the most rational next step? Options: A. Contribute only enough to get a small match, then throw everything at loans. B. Max out the 401k to capture the full match, then use remaining cash for loans. C. Ignore the 401k entirely until loans are gone. Split 50-50 between 401k and loans, regardless of the match. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to max out the 401k to capture the full match, then use remaining cash for loans. The reason is that the 25% employer match is a guaranteed immediate return that exceeds the 6% loan interest. After securing the match, you can allocate any remaining cash to accelerating your loan payoff.
Now let's talk about how taxes further tilt the decision. Traditional 401k contributions reduce your taxable income today, lowering current taxes and often improving your net cash flow. That extra cash can be redeployed to debt payments or additional savings. A Roth 401k flips the timing, with taxes paid now and potentially tax-free withdrawals later, which can be beneficial if you expect higher tax rates in the future. Student loan interest deductions also phase out at higher incomes, so pre-tax reductions can be particularly valuable for high earners. The combination of tax savings and employer matching can significantly compound your advantage. Next, let's directly compare the strategies. With a MAX 401k first approach, you secure a guaranteed return via the match, benefit from current tax savings in a traditional account, and start compounding earlier. This is especially compelling when the employer match is unusually generous. In contrast, the debt-first approach can provide psychological relief and reduce interest costs more quickly, which simplifies budgeting. Debt first becomes more attractive once you have contributed enough to capture the full match and are considering contributions beyond the match cap, or if your loan APRs are extremely high. Now, before we continue, let's address an important disclaimer. This content is educational and does not constitute financial, tax, or legal advice. Individual circumstances vary widely, and the right decision depends on your exact match rules, vesting schedule, tax situation, and loan terms. Consult a qualified professional who can tailor recommendations to your specific needs. Next, let's look at lifestyle leverage to amplify results. Lifestyle choices can dramatically improve early investing outcomes. If you can reduce expenses by living at home, sharing rent, or cutting discretionary spending, you can push more dollars into your 401k during the years when compounding matters most. Automating your contributions helps you stay consistent without relying on willpower. Even while holding some student debt, capturing the match and benefiting from tax savings can place you on a much stronger long-term path. Now let's reinforce the math with a Markdown-based quick example. These Markdown examples show the arithmetic behind decisions. First, immediate ROI is the employer match divided by your matched contribution. With a 50% match on your first $23,000, the immediate return is 50%. Second, comparing that to a 6% loan APR shows why capturing match dollars generally takes priority. After you exceed the match cap, however, the immediate return falls to zero, so you then compare expected market returns to the guaranteed interest savings from paying down debt. Finally, always factor in vesting. Leaving early may forfeit unvested match dollars. Now let's move to one more quick quiz to cement the priority order. Question: what should generally come first in your early career plan? Options: A. Max the 401k even if you have no emergency fund. B. Secure a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, then capture at least the full employer match. C. Pay off all debt first, then start any retirement saving. D. Ignore vesting, since it is not cash you have today. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to secure a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, then capture at least the full employer match. An emergency fund prevents small setbacks from becoming expensive debt. After that, the employer match is guaranteed money you should not forgo. Now, let's lock in the core takeaways. To recap the key points. First, the employer match represents a guaranteed and immediate returns. Second, when match structures are unusually generous, maximizing your 401k can be the optimal move, even if student loans remain. Third, build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months before aggressive investing. Fourth, understand vesting to avoid leaving money on the table. Fifth, after you have captured the match, direct excess funds toward high-interest debt. Finally, remember that tax benefits can further tilt the decision toward contributions. With the takeaways clear, let's summarize the whole framework. In summary, begin with an emergency fund to protect your plan. Then, capture the full employer match because it is one of the highest guaranteed returns available. If your employer offers an unusually generous match, consider maximizing your 401k
up to the IRS limit. Make sure you understand how vesting works, especially if you may change jobs. Once you surpass the match, compare expected market returns to your loan APRs. Frequently, it makes sense to accelerate high-interest debt payments next. Use tax advantages and automation to stay consistent. Finally, let's close with a quick call to action.
Thanks for watching. If this video helped you rethink your strategy, please like the video, share it with a friend who is starting their career, and subscribe for more content on practical wealth building. In the comments, share your employer match structure and how you are approaching debt versus retirement savings. See you in the next one.